Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the President of the George Washington University, Dr. Stephen Knapp.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm delighted to welcome you to the George Washington University's historic Lisner Auditorium for the closing session of the Partnership for a Healthier America's Summit entitled Building a Healthier Future. We are honored that First Lady Michelle Obama, who holds an honorary doctorate from GW, will be returning to our campus to address this audience shortly. A passionate advocate for ending the epidemic of childhood obesity and the creator of the Let's Move initiative, Mrs. Obama has inspired many individuals and institutions, including our university, to look for innovative ways of improving the health of our local and global communities. For instance, our School of Public Health and Health Services, the only school of public health in the nation's capital, plays a vital role in the national effort both to understand and to reduce the incidence of childhood obesity. In fact, it's one of only 3 public health schools in the country with a Department of Exercise Science. In 2010, that department launched a new program very much aligned with Mrs. Obama's Let's Move initiative. The program trains graduate students in ways of introducing physical activity into the repertoire of public health strategies. At the same time, our university-wide Urban Food Task Force brings together faculty, students, staff, and volunteers who share an interest in healthy eating, sustainable food production, and food policy. The task force provides practical information on and training in healthy eating and food preparation to interested students and the greater George Washington community, and works with campus food service providers to develop healthier and more sustainable offerings. Finally, our researchers and practitioners are actively working on childhood obesity with our pediatric partner, Children's National Medical Center. I look forward to the remainder of the program and to the First Lady's keynote address. And it's now my pleasure to welcome Larry Soler, President and CEO of the Partnership for a Healthier America, and I'm happy to say, a graduate of the George Washington University's Law School. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Soler.
Thanks so much, President Knapp. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? Great, great. So as you mentioned, I'm an alumnus of GW Law School. I can say it brings back lots of memories, and I just want to say I'm a lot happier being up here than I was back in civil procedure class, okay? So throughout the summit, we've honored company after company for stepping up to the plate and making the healthy choice the easy choice. And this afternoon, I have the opportunity to announce yet another such commitment. Any parent can attest that convincing kids to eat something they don't find immediately appealing is no easy task. In hopes of helping parents overcome this obstacle, many have begun incorporating healthy foods into meals that are already big hits. So this mindset allows parents to work with their kids and expose them to more nutritious options on the kids' terms instead of engaging in dinner time tests of will to get them to eat their vegetables, right? So at our last summit, we all enjoyed the reception sponsored by the Mushroom Council. And you remember we learned of innovative ways that mushrooms are being used in dishes for things like a substitute for meat. But today, I'm very pleased to announce that the Mushroom Council will move from sponsor to full-fledged PHA partner. They'll be helping make family meals and school lunch easier and healthier for everyone. So to talk more about the impact of this commitment, please welcome the chair of the Mushroom Council, Fletcher Street.
It's really great to be here. You know, they don't let us mushroom farmers out of the dark too often. The Mushroom Council is thrilled to be here to share how we're investing in a healthier future for our kids. It's fitting, really, because this process actually started at the inaugural PHA Summit, where people love the taste and creativity of the meatball we serve made with 50% mushrooms. In subsequent testing, people enthusiastically embraced the flavor of the mushroom and meat combination And more importantly, the biggest hurdle, kids loved it too. The positive reactions to the cooking technique opened our eyes to an amazing opportunity to give American families healthier and delicious food. So we're stepping up to the challenge, and we've made this simple concept the cornerstone of everything we are doing. We're working with school nutrition operators to offer solutions for healthy school meals. The work is just beginning, and we're excited to make the PHA commitment, but it will still take more like-minded partners to give every child a great tasting way to get more vegetables. Take a look at how the Mushroom Council is committed to building a healthier future for America.
The Mushroom Council is excited to formalize our commitment through the Partnership for a Healthier America to bring more vegetables to the plates of American families and help reduce childhood obesity. But what good does it do to offer, let alone serve, healthier meals if they're winding up in the garbage? Getting Americans to eat healthier isn't just about providing nutritious options. It's about providing nutritious options that people want to eat every day. And no other produce item is as uniquely suited to conquer this challenge. Low in calories and fat, high in nutrients and flavorful, mushrooms can be added to virtually any meal to create healthy, delicious, and satiating versions of the food America loves. Burgers, pizza, pasta, tacos, chili, and my favorite, sloppy joes. The list goes on. It's a simple solution. Substitute mushrooms for meat to enjoy more vegetables and reduce calorie and saturated fat intake along the way. The Mushroom Council has committed $6 million over 3 years to encourage just that. We're innovating new products that blend together mushrooms and meat that promise to change the way kids and adults view their food. Why should it be all or nothing? The trend is to blend. We're working with schools nationwide to add kid-approved foods to lunch menus and meat meal guidelines. Our marketing program will educate consumers about the reasons and ways to eat mushrooms. We're engaging nutrition experts to reach parents, and we're arming our industry with resources to promote fresh mushrooms year-round in all regions of the United States. Think about it. 32 million school lunches are served each day. If each of those meals included a burger made with a mushroom and meat blend instead of all meat, students across the country could consume at least 1 billion fewer calories a day. With mushrooms, we have a chance to help change the health of America. One delicious bite at a time.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Fletcher. Thanks to the Mushroom Council for your leadership in helping us make the healthy choice the easy choice. Okay, now it's my honor to introduce a man who has been known to make late-night deliveries of blankets to people's homes when the power goes out. Right? He's shoveled out cars after snowstorms. He's fixed potholes and replaced burned-out streetlights. And all that when he's not saving people from burning buildings. But for us, he's a tireless supporter of his city, our shared mission to create a healthier generation, and so I'm told Star Trek. He's followed by 1.3 million people on Twitter. And that's more subscribers than Vogue magazine, by the way. He's the hardest working mayor in America. Ladies and gentlemen, PHA's other honorary vice chairman, Newark Mayor Cory Booker.
How's everybody doing? Oh. I'm going to go out and run a mile right now. You guys got me so excited. All right, but I'm never going to get invited back again because I'm about to tell you guys a joke. It has a high level of truthiness, as Stephen Colbert would say. It is basically about a church in my city that had these two young brothers that were cutting up all the time, causing all kind of problems. And everybody tried to intervene, the deacon, the head of the deaconesses, the choir director, nobody could do anything. So finally the pastor said, I'm bringing them down to my office, I'm going to deal with this myself. And so he takes these two young boys, sits the younger brother outside, brings the older brother into his office, sits behind his desk, sits him in front of the desk, and the two of them just stare at each other. The young boy's got his arms crossed, his face all in a pout, staring down the pastor. And the pastor's sort of surprised by this behavior from this young man. And so he thinks to himself, I got to try something different. And he looks and he sees this big worn Bible on the table, and he just puts his hand on it and just lays it there for a second, looks at the boy and says, my son, I want you to tell me now, where is God? And the boy suddenly looked surprised. His eyes opened up. He looked actually downright scared. And the pastor thinks, oh my gosh, I got him. So now he picks up the Bible and he waves it above his head and says in a deeper voice, my son, I said, tell me right now, where is God? And at this point, the boy grabs the armrest of the chairs and he's shaken visibly from head to toe. And I don't know about what kind of pastor some of you might have, but my pastor, if something's going well, he just doubles down. So now he stands up behind his desk, leans over to the boy, shaking the Bible, and with his Sunday morning voice at the height of his sermon, he yells out so everybody, even outside, can hear. He screams, my son, tell me right now, where is God? And at this point, the boy jumps up, shaking from head to toe, sprints out of the pastor's office, sees his little brother there, grabs him by the hand and says, man, we got to get out of here. God is missing, and the pastor thinks we took him. So my point is, ladies and gentlemen, we got problems. And we can't sit around asking, where is God? Because God has created us to deal with these challenges. We see, I worry these days about our nation too often surrendering to cynicism. Allowing their inability to do everything to undermine their determination to do something. I worry about folks getting caught up when it comes to our problems. They get caught up in that toxic state of being called sedentary agitation, where they're sitting on their couch watching what's going wrong with the world through their TV screen, getting so upset, but not getting up and doing something about it. You see, I have proven to myself in a longitudinal study of my own life. I'm going to do my PhD. Y'all going to be calling me Dr. Booker next year. I've proven to myself that there is nothing we can't do as a people when we come together. It is no longer an issue of can we, it's a matter of do we have the collective will? Will we do something? And what inspires me to now, inspired by our great First Lady, inspired by leaders in the corporate community, in the foundation community, in the nonprofit community, by community activists from the streets of Newark to the hills of Oakland, what inspires me now is that so many Americans are joining together and looking at the crisis of obesity in America, eating away the foundations of our children, consuming their potential and their dreams, raising the costs of living, lowering the quality of life. I am inspired now that one to another we're joining together across sectors, across parties, across the country and saying we are going to manifest the will to turn this around. This is the story of America. It's how we've dealt with the most complicated problems, the biggest challenges, the greatest mountains. We've done it by pulling together, not worried about left or right, not worried about this or that, but a unified purpose. Like the old African parable that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And this coalition, this coming together of our community, I believe by setting specific actionable goals, by every week and month and year measuring our progress, by holding each other accountable, by not pointing fingers of blame, but accepting collective responsibility, that we will transform health outcomes for our children. This is truly not just possible. I know in my heart, from what I've seen so far, from last year's conference to this year's conference, I know that this isn't a hope or a dream, it is our destiny. But it's going to take some work. To paraphrase Frederick Douglass, who said, I prayed for years for my freedom, but I was still a slave. It wasn't until I prayed with my hands and I prayed with my feet that I found my freedom. Well, we are going to answer that question that God asked when he walked into the Garden of Eden, when he called out to Adam and said, "Where are you? Why are you shrinking and hiding from the truth of who you are? Tell the truth of humanity through your spirit, through your conviction, through your work, and through your success." And so we're going to tell the truth about our children, that we love them, that they have infinite potential, that there's nothing that they can't achieve through our work together. Now, I'm very proud right now that I have the ability to introduce some people who are also inspiring me to talk about them. It's really 3 finalists, and they were finalists in yesterday's End Childhood Obesity Innovation Challenge. And I want you to join me in welcoming these fine young men onto the stage. And so please give it up. I want you you had the opportunity to hear from each of these budding entrepreneurs yesterday as they explained how their ideas could help in the effort of childhood obesity. We heard from Carter. Give it up for them. Give it up. Give it up. I'm telling you, handsome young men with promising futures, the only thing they have to do is shave their head and then they're going places. So we heard from Carter, who developed the sleek, fruit-infused, defined bottle that makes water the natural choice again for kids. Then there's Dennis, who worked with his team to create the Jive Health video game to engage children while teaching them about healthy eating. We also got to hear from Jason as he explained the Aurori, did I get that right, Aurori? ARI, the ARI Health Network, an incentive-based system which helps make the healthy choice the easy choice for communities. I honestly couldn't be more impressed with the finalists standing up here with me today, and from talking to our judges, I know that choosing one winner was no easy task. So today's winner will receive, though, the tools necessary to expand upon their initial idea. In addition to $10,000 the winner will also receive, and they're going to get that money, and they're going to get expert advice from senior executives at Edelman, McKinsey & Company, and Startup Health, who can each provide invaluable guidance that will help our winner get off the right track and hopefully help us move the needle in the fight against obesity. Now for the winner. The envelope, fellas. You don't have the envelope? You know, it's backstage? No, I got it right here. Okay. All right. So the envelope, pretend this is like that fancy envelope that Michelle Obama read the other night. Did you all see that? I don't look nearly as good as she looks. I don't even have bangs. What am I doing up here? All right. But the winner is, ooh, I got a drum roll. This is exciting. The winner is, I'm ready it now, it is Dennis with Jive Health. Dennis! Come on up here, Dennis. I think we have a check. Give it up for Dennis!
Please welcome PHA President and CEO Larry Solar back to the stage.
I was happy when I was going on before Mayor Booker. Then they told me I had to come on after Mayor Booker. I hate that. All right. At the risk of stating the obvious, we all know childhood obesity is complex. Now, whether we're talking about food and nutrition or physical activity, the number of issues that must be addressed can seem infinite. From the built environment to nutritional information to produce supply chains to safe routes to schools to access issues to socioeconomic issues to cultural traditions, even weather plays a role. But at the core is an issue of supply and demand, right? We must increase the latter but ensure access to the former. We must inspire kids and families to make healthier decisions while simultaneously making it as easy as possible to make those decisions. So PHA's partners address both sides of that issue, from Bird's Eye using iCarly to get younger kids excited about vegetables, to the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association making physical activity as accessible as possible on city streets across the country. While our partners build or expand more than 1,500 grocery stores in areas that lack access to fresh, affordable produce, our new Pinterest page, with support from the nation's 5 largest media companies, MyPlate and Let's Move, provides access to simple, affordable recipes. But the need to address both the supply and the demand isn't limited to food. Our nation's children are struggling with a physical inactivity epidemic. Only 1 in 3 kids is active every day. We need strong programs that create positive experiences for kids where they are, and we need champions to set powerful examples. We need to integrate physical activity back into everyday life. So as some of you saw yesterday, PHA is working with Let's Move Active Schools to address this problem where kids are most. We're looking to engage 50,000 schools, 50,000 schools over the next 5 years, empowering school champions, teachers, administrators, staff, and parents to create environments that engage students in movement every day. So with a mission as ambitious as getting kids moving again, everyone has a role to play. And the next PHA partner we're going to announce is going to play a major role. Investing $30 million over the next 3 years, our next commitment expands programs that promote physical activity and fitness and creates new ones. They're already an integral part of Let's Move Active Schools. It will be expanding its premier before-school physical activity program 5-fold, from 200 schools this year to 1,000 in 2015. Their school-focused approach, combining expanded programs and outreach to new schools, will reach at least 2 million kids over the next 3 years. Beyond this school, the company is committing to investing in a broader effort to increase the U.S. population's focus on physical activity and fitness. Ladies and gentlemen, to represent PHA's newest partner, Reebok and Box Kids, please welcome founder of Box and Reebok Director of Social Responsibility, Kathleen Tolley.
Hello, everybody. I want to say I'm thrilled to be here today, and it's a real honor to be here today and to be part of something so important. At Reebok, we have a very simple mission. We want to empower people to be fit for life. We understand that people were meant to move, and we're committed to getting them moving. We know that fitness has the power to change lives for the better, and we believe that those who are fit not only change themselves, but can be the change agents for people around them. A few years ago, as the issue of obesity and other concerning health trends had reached a point where it could no longer be ignored, Reebok began to ask themselves some difficult questions. They took a hard look at themselves and the industry and asked, what have we accomplished? We're a sports and fitness brand, but have we done anything to help? What we realized is that over the past few decades, per capita sports participation has declined. Reebok and other brands in the industry have arguably created a world of fans versus participants. As they celebrated elite athletes and their achievements, they stopped talking about people and what sports and fitness can be to the average person. The next question Reebok asked is, what can we do to reverse this trend? Reebok decided that they needed to change their approach, and they made a commitment that moving forward, Reebok would shift the paradigm to change the perception of fitness and to get people moving. This commitment to empowering people to be fit for life guides us now and in the future, and there is no better place to start than our own children. Because unfortunately, many of us today see fitness as a chore. At Reebok, we want to make fitness fun and bring back play and make it part of everybody's everyday life. That's where Box comes in. A few years ago, Reebok made a significant investment and a bit of a gamble. They believed in me and my small before-school exercise program started by a few of us moms in Natick, Massachusetts. Reebok was inspired and amazed by the impact we were having on our own community and felt that with their help, the program had unlimited potential and could impact millions of kids around the world. What really struck Reebok about the program was that beyond the physical benefits to the kids who participated, the program was also built on the proven and profound cognitive and social benefits of exercise. That kids who exercised before school not only were healthier, but did better in classroom and thrived socially. And today, as Larry mentioned, we are well on our way. We now have Box in over 255 schools around the country. Yahoo! A true grassroots effort that has really taken hold, and it's affecting thousands of children, parents, and teachers in schools around the community. It's simple, easy, and free. Next fall, that number will grow to over 750, and I'm proud to say that Box will be in more than 1,000 schools and potentially many more with the collaboration of many partners by 2015. And the most important part is that we know the program works. Not only do we have the data collected by third-party validators like NIOSH, National Institute of Out-of-School Time, to validate this, but more importantly, we are consistently hearing amazing success stories from our parents and teachers. We've heard about a young girl who spent many mornings in the bathroom or paralyzed in her parents' cars who would not come into school because she was scared to come to school. She was homeschooled, and they tried to put her in the public school. Her parents had an idea to enroll her in Box. It gave her the confidence she needed, and now she loves coming to school, especially on Box days, and she's one of the most confident kids in her class. And she's also one of these kids who wouldn't have participated in intramural sports, but Box allows her to be a big athlete. Or the story of a young boy in the Boston area who could not run a full lap around the gym when he started the Box program. Not only does he now keep up with the kids, he surpasses most of them, and he's lost 40 pounds over a year and a half. And there are many, many more stories like that, and I'll tell you, those are the goosebump stories that I get these emails from parents and teachers on a daily basis, and I just say, this is really worth it. We're really making a difference. But we know that we can't do it alone. More and more collaboration and more awareness and more support are what we need to reverse the trend. We need more people to get on board and join the cause, people like Eli and Peyton Manning, members of the Reebok family, whose ongoing commitment to Box and to making a difference in the lives of kids has helped us grow the awareness of the program. They are truly Box stars. And organizations like the Boston Foundation, an early believer in the power of the Box program, who helped us expand the program in the Boston area, I would like to thank them very much for their support. I'd also like to thank CO180 and the Alliance for Healthier Generation for also believing us and believing in the powers of parents and teachers to make this movement happen. It is really surreal that I'm standing up here talking to all of you. and we encourage other companies and stakeholders to join us. And well, just recently, one of our competitors joined the movement to get kids fit, which is great to see. This is an issue more important than any competition between brands. At Reebok, we have been at this for a number of years now with our support of Box, and our commitment is only getting stronger. We've already contributed millions of dollars to the Box program, and this partnership with PHA is another major step towards our aspiration of having every school in the country running Box. It's a pretty bold statement, but I'll tell you, I truly believe in it. But if you've ever attended a Box class and seen the smiles on these kids' faces, I can assure you that you would come away asking yourself the same question: why isn't Box happening in every school? Why isn't every parent taking on the responsibility and bringing physical activity to their school? So next, we're going to show a little video of the Box program.
Box is a unique before-school exercise program for elementary school children. Backed by the Reebok Foundation and supported by many Reebok athletes, it is a way to get kids moving and get their minds ready to learn. A simple 45 minutes of exercise before school has been proven to promote higher brain function, less ADHD, and provide many other health benefits. Studies have shown that children who exercise before school are happier and more confident in the classroom.
Staying fit, staying active can change your life. You know, being a professional athlete, I know the importance of being in shape.
It makes my brain get more energy.
Now I do really good in school.
And you make new friends sometimes. You really have to eat healthy.
I don't think I will be a couch potato.
I'm a very confident girl.
Box is an action program created and run by moms that is easy to implement and delivers amazing results.
We are thrilled about bringing this program into our schools so that children can move in the morning, and when they walk into the classroom, they're ready for learning.
To become a Box star in your community, go to boxkids.org to find out all the information you need to get started. Give your kids the best start. Bring Box to their school.
So thank you. I hope that video is inspirational to you as it is to me. Every time I see it, I get a little teary-eyed because I think of all the kids that are just so excited to be part of this and how we've made differences in their lives. And so in the video, you notice some of the Reebok athletes who have been a big part of the success of this program. One person who I mentioned earlier has committed himself to being a true Box ambassador. There are many athletes out there who are doing great work off the field and whose stories are often overshadowed. Eli Manning is certainly an example of that. Eli has been a supporter of Box since first learning about the program. He, as well as his brother Peyton, have visited Box schools and made a real difference. We at Reebok are incredibly thankful for that, and in fact, Eli has been such an amazing Box ambassador that even our employees at Massachusetts headquarters, many of whom are Patriots fans, and having seen Eli beat their team in the Super Bowl twice, can't believe, that we are so proud to have Eli as part of the Reebok family. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce two-time Super Bowl MVP and Box ambassador Eli Manning.
Thank you, Kathleen, for that introduction, and thank you to PHA for hosting this incredible event. It's both an honor and a pleasure to be here. When Reebok introduced me to the Box program, I was hooked immediately. To be involved in a program that reinforces the message of staying healthy and encourages our kids to live an active and healthy lifestyle is very close to my heart. Staying healthy and fit is a way of life to me. Anything I can do to ensure that kids growing up today have that same passion for sports and fitness that I do is something that is very important to me. So many of my memories growing up involved times when I got to play outside with my brothers Peyton and Cooper and my friends. It was our way of life. It's just what we did. We'd be outside for hours, running, jumping, swimming, you name it, we were probably doing it. You know that many of our kids haven't experienced that same joy of running around and exerting every ounce of energy that they have. And this is both disappointing and alarming. As an athlete, and more importantly, as a parent, this is something that I want to help change. The Box program is so incredible because it gives our kids the opportunity to get outside and play before school even begins. I've had the privilege to visit a Box school in New York City where the kids were beaming with energy. They were running every which way, cheering each other on, and having fun. To know that because of the Box program, these kids are eager to get up an hour earlier each day and are more confident in everything that they do is just as rewarding to me as winning the Super Bowl. Through Box, we are encouraging these kids to lead a healthier and happier life, and we need to keep encouraging more kids throughout the country. Our influence as parents, teachers, athletes, and public figures has the power to change the mindsets of the next generation and inspire them to embrace active lifestyles. Our kids need us. They look up to us and trust us to guide them in the right direction through life's challenges. It is now our responsibility to bring this message to the surface and take action in our schools. Let's create the opportunity for our kids getting moving again and bringing physical activity to every school in America. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to stand up in front of you all today to explain what this cause means to me. And now I'm even more privileged to introduce a woman who has used her platform and passion to bring the issue of childhood health and wellness to the forefront. She has inspired this country to take action, and it is my absolute honor to present to you the First Lady of the United States of America, Michelle Obama.
Thank you all so much. Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you all so much. It's great to see you. It's truly a pleasure to be with all of you today. And of course, I want to start by thanking Eli Manning. Oh my gosh. For that very kind introduction. I'm probably as excited to see him as I am to see all of you, but I'm thrilled that he could join us today, and I'm just grateful for all of his work and leadership. I also want to thank Dr. Stephen Knapp, not just for hosting us here at GW, but for all the wonderful work this university is doing to forward the agenda of nutrition and fitness. We are so grateful that they are our partners and our neighbors as well. And I also want to recognize Larry Soller, Larry and everybody else at the partnership for all of their wonderful work, as well as Kathleen Tully and the team at Reebok for all of their leadership. And it's just a thrill to be working with both of these wonderful organizations and companies that are doing all of these terrific things. But most of all, I want to thank all of you, the advocates, experts, and executives who've been leading the way to give all of our children a healthy start to their lives. Because of your tremendous efforts, more than 500,000 people in underserved communities now have access to fresh, healthy food. Because of you, major American businesses like Disney and Walmart and Darden restaurants are now offering healthier menus and products. Military leaders are serving healthier food on their bases. Faith leaders are educating their congregations about eating healthy. Nearly 2.5 million kids have enrolled in recreational sports classes. Democrats and Republicans right here in Washington came together to pass groundbreaking legislation that is transforming our school lunch program. And just last week, we had the sheer delight to launch Let's Move Active Schools, an unprecedented effort to invest more than $70 million to promote physical activity and bring physical education back to our schools. Yes. And today, we are beyond thrilled to announce that Reebok is joining this effort with an additional investment of $30 million over the next 3 years. Absolutely, this investment, as you've seen, it comes after years of leadership through their Box Kids program, which supports innovative programs to get kids active in our school. So again, I just want to take a moment today to say how grateful I am for Reebok's long-standing commitment to this issue and for their groundbreaking investment to take that work to the next level. Thanks to efforts like these, today we are finally starting to see some results. In Mississippi, Obesity rates among elementary school children have dropped 13%. Rates are also falling in cities, yes, like Philadelphia and New York, and in California as well. So together, slowly but surely, we're beginning to turn the tide on childhood obesity in America. Together, we are inspiring leaders from every sector to take ownership of this issue. And with this type of broad and inclusive engagement, I am confident that we will continue to make steady progress. But we also know that at the end of the day, when it comes to the health of our kids, no one has a greater impact than each of us do as parents. We know that families play a uniquely important role in the work that we're all doing. And that's one of the things I want to focus on today. What all of us can do to better empower families who want to make healthy choices for their kids. Now, on one level, this seems pretty obvious. I mean, after all, our kids aren't the ones going to the supermarket or waking up early to make breakfast, at least not in my household. And they certainly don't sign themselves up for ballet and basketball clinics at the Y. Hey, that's our job. More than anyone else, we as parents decide what our kids eat and how active they are every single day. But unfortunately, over the past 50 years, it's gotten a whole lot harder for many families to make healthy choices. For starters, people have a lot less time. Back in 1980, way back then, just 39% of married families had 2 working parents. But today, it's nearly 60%. Just 3 decades ago, the average employee worked 180 hours less each year than today's average employee. So for many parents, every day feels like a cross between a high wire act and an obstacle course. And there simply aren't enough hours in the day to get everything done. And I know a little bit about what that's like. While I have plenty of help and support today, I didn't always live in the White House. And it wasn't that long ago that I was a working mom juggling a demanding job with 2 small children and a husband who traveled. Back then, something as simple as a grocery shopping trip required a finely honed plan of attack. I mean, that trip to the supermarket was just one of a dozen items I had to check off my to-do list within my few precious hours of errand time. So each week, armed with my budget and my list, I was on a mission to get in and out of that store in less than 30 minutes. 30 minutes, that's all I had. So if the fruit wasn't already prepackaged, you could forget about it. I did not have time for bagging and weighing and calculating costs in my head. I was all about grab and go, you hear me? And if I had my daughters with me, then the clock was really ticking before somebody needed to be fed or diapered or put down for a nap. Oh, and heaven help me if I got all the way to the produce aisle at the end and realized that I made a rookie error and forgot the cereal or the pasta in one of the previous aisles. Oh, no, then I had to maneuver that big, heavy cart full of groceries and those 2 little kids all the way around the store. And trust me, no one was happy about that. So I didn't exactly have time to peruse the aisles, thoughtfully reading labels. And I know my experiences are not unique. I mean, every day, parents across this country are doing that same frantic grocery store sprint. So it's not particularly helpful to bombard them with complex labels or vague messages to eat healthy and make better choices without clearly defining what that means. What is helpful is to provide families with the information they need when they need it. And this is the first point I want to make. The fact is that we can give parents the most comprehensive pamphlets and the most up-to-date websites, but we cannot expect folks to remember everything they've read days or weeks later when they're in that grocery store aisle or opening that menu or standing in front of the freezer pondering what to make for dinner. Instead, we need to offer parents clear information at the moment when they're actually deciding what to buy, cook, and order for their kids. And I'm talking about things that folks like the folks at Darden restaurants are doing to revamp their kids' menus with healthier options. I'm talking about our new My Plate Pinterest recipe initiative that provides more than 1,500 healthy recipes so that with the push of an icon on an iPhone, parents have access to easy, tasty meals that they know will actually be good for their kids. I'm talking about Walmart's new Great For You seal, which they're putting on healthy food items in their stores, making it much easier to identify healthy products. And remember, when we talk about giving parents better information, we're not just talking about obvious things like food labels. We're also talking about the more subtle messages that shape our decisions every day. You know, whether, for example, restaurant menus feature mouth-watering pictures of healthy or unhealthy items, whether a product is shelved right at eye level or lower to the ground where you have to bend over and reach it, and if you're bending over, you're not going to get it. Whether the produce aisle is the first aisle to greet you when you enter the store, or the last aisle you pass on your way out when you're already running late to get home for the babysitter. I mean, that is all a part of the information landscape that shapes our choices every day. And going forward, we all need to make sure that these strategies are part of our efforts to improve the health of families in this country. We all need to focus on that. But while we know we must make it easier for parents to access healthier foods, we also know that at the end of the day, our kids actually need to eat that food. And that's the second point I want to discuss. Now, we know that as parents, it's not always easy to get our kids to eat what we serve them. But that doesn't mean we ignore our responsibilities. I mean, we would never dream of letting our kids skip going to the doctor or learning how to add and subtract just because they don't like it. And the same thing is true about eating healthy. We know we have to be firm. But unfortunately, we also know that as parents, we certainly are not the only influence on our kids' food preferences. Every day, our kids are surrounded by food advertisements on TV and the internet, on billboards and in stores and even in their schools. And it's not just commercials, it's in product placements in the shows themselves, in what the characters they worship are eating and drinking. And research shows that kids who see foods advertised on TV are significantly more likely to ask for them at the store. Unfortunately, a number of companies have stepped up to set new standards for responsible marketing. Disney is cutting all advertisements for unhealthy foods from their children's programming. Absolutely. Mars, Hershey, and Pepsi have stopped targeting certain products to children under the age of 12. But while we're seeing some progress, we know that we still have a lot of work to do. Because whatever we believe about personal responsibility and self-determination, I think we can all agree that that doesn't always apply to kids. I think we can all agree that parents need more control over the products and messages that their kids are exposed to. And let's be clear, this isn't just about companies stepping up to limit the marketing of unhealthy foods to kids. It's also about companies realizing that marketing healthy foods can be responsible and the profitable thing to do as well. And American companies can play a vital role to help make eating fruits and veggies fun and, yes, even cool. Study after study proves this point. For example, in one study, researchers gave kids a choice between eating a chocolate bar or some broccoli. Unsurprisingly, 78% of the kids chose the chocolate, and just 22% chose the broccoli. But when they put an Elmo sticker on the broccoli and a sticker of an unknown cartoon character on the chocolate, 50% of the kids chose the broccoli, and 50% chose the chocolate. So that little Elmo sticker added 28 percentage points to broccoli. The power of Elmo. As for profitability, just ask the folks at Bird's Eye Vegetables. They launched a major marketing campaign featuring characters from the popular kids' TV show iCarly, one of my favorites, and their sales jumped 37%. Vidalia Onion did a campaign with Shrek, and their sales went up 50%. Turned out that after kids saw these ads for healthy foods, they went and begged their parents to buy them. So the good news here is that there is real, meaningful evidence that we can actually get our kids excited about eating healthy. Yes, yes we can. But in the end, we also know that it's not enough simply to change the way our children eat. We have to change our own habits and behaviors as well. And this is the final point I want to make today. We as parents are our children's first and best role models, and this is particularly true when it comes to their health. Research shows that kids who have at least one obese parent are more than twice as likely to be obese as adults. So as much as we might plead with our kids to do as I say and not as I do, we know that we can't lie around on the couch eating French fries and candy bars and expect our kids to eat carrots and run around the block. But too often, that's exactly what we're doing. You know, we're skipping the gym so that we can drive the kids to school in the morning. We're eating fast food at lunch so that we have time afterwards to go to the store and pick up something decent for dinner. We are working so hard to keep our kids healthy that we're neglecting ourselves. Now, in some ways, that's what it means to be a parent, right? It means that there are plenty of things that we won't do for ourselves, but there is nothing that we won't do for our children. But as it turns out, one of the most important things we can do for our children's health is to take care of our own health and to make being healthy truly a family affair. And giving parents the information and options they need is an important component to helping the entire household become healthier. I mean, just think for a minute what this country could look like. Imagine walking into any grocery store in America and finding the healthiest options clearly marked and centrally placed so that you know within seconds what's good for your family when you walk in that store. Imagining opening up a menu in any restaurant and knowing exactly what items will give your family the most nutrition for your hard-earned dollar. Imagine our kids begging and pleading, throwing tantrums to get you to buy more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Yes, this is possible. It is possible to create this world. With more information, responsible marketing, with better labels and product placement, with greater access and affordability, yeah, that's what's possible. And the truth is, it isn't rocket science. We have everything we need right here and right now to make this happen. We just have to summon the focus and the will. And everyone has to make supporting healthy families their top priority going forward. And that's what I plan to do this coming year. And I hope that all of you will join this effort, particularly leaders from our business community. And when businesses step up, yeah, it's important for us to applaud those efforts, but also to encourage them to do even more. We all know, that we won't solve this problem with any one announcement or commitment, but we will solve this problem with a constant stream of efforts that continuously make real and meaningful change. And that is our professional obligation as leaders on this issue. It's also our moral obligation to our children. It's how we will ensure that our kids can fulfill every last bit of their God-given potential. And finally, it is also our patriotic obligation to our country. It's how we will raise the next generation of workers and innovators and leaders who will continue to make America the greatest nation on earth. So let's get to work. We can make this happen. I am so excited for all the accomplishments over the past few years, and I want to once again thank all of you all of you for everything that you've done, everything that you will continue to do, and I look so forward to working with you all in the months and years ahead. Thank you all. God bless. Congratulations.